Good afternoon. Let me make sure that I'm live here. Okay, looks like we're good to go. Good afternoon. Carol Buckalew with Inky Bee Stampers. Thanks for being here today. I have a card demonstration here for you using the Dainty Delight stamp set. And I'm just going to wait here and see if anybody jumps on real quick before we get started. Okay, we'll go ahead and get started here. So I used the Dainty Delight stamp set and a couple of, and the dies. But this is our thank you card for today. And the inside is just as pretty as the outside of the card. Added some DSP on the inside, and you can see this is not a standard card cut. This card measures 7.5 by 5.5, and it was scored at 3 1/4, so that we have, you know, just part of the inside of the card showing at the front. Hi Faith, thanks so much for joining. Just getting started here. We're going to do a bit of stamping, a bit of coloring, and then we'll be able to go ahead and put the card together. And this is the stamp set that I used today. A couple of these images, this sentiment, and I used the framed florets dies, and in particular I used this kind of plainer oval frame, which cuts out the frame and the insert. And then these are the Dainty Delight dies, and in particular I use this grouping of flowers over here and the leaves. So let's go ahead and get started. And we will do a little bit of stamping here. And that is my inside panel. And let me grab my paper here real quick without spilling anything. Just get a scrap piece of paper here. So let me see here. I feel very discombobulated today. I'm not sure why. Had everything ready. All right, there we go. And let me find what I did with my stamps. So for the inside panel and the envelope, I am going to use Memento ink, and I'm using kind of one of the medium size floral images. Hi Akiko, thanks so much for joining. Hi Mary, thanks for joining. Thank you Faith, appreciate it. I just love this set. I think it's probably a favorite for a few people. I am just going to stamp a partial image of this stamp. We don't need the whole thing. And I'm just going to put it right down there in the corner on our inside panel. And let me re-ink this, and we'll do the same on the envelope front. Right down here in the corner. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab, I went ahead and did the die cutting ahead of time, and this is the frame florets frame and insert. And I now want to grab the largest floral image from the Dainty die set. And I'm going to go ahead and ink this up, again with Memento. And not all of this image will fit, but we'll stamp as much as we can. On bigger stamps like this, I like to put the stamp face up and come down with the Memento. I just seem to have better luck inking a larger stamp up that way. And And you can see that this image is way larger than our oval here. I do want to leave a little bit of room at the top of the oval. So not a whole lot of this image is showing, but enough. It'll be pretty. Just give that a second. There we go. That was a nice image. Okay. And while I'm stamping, I'll go ahead and get the sentiment stamped. And I'm going to stamp the sentiment in mint macaron ink. And I cut myself an abundance of extra labels here. And if you look at my card, I kind of want the sentiment stamped over to the right side because I'm going to cut a banner on the left side of this. But yeah, I cut quite a few extra labels for my sentiment, only because I was having trouble with the mint macaron getting a nice clean image yesterday. So I did re-ink my pad this morning, and hopefully that will help. And let me just kind of test here on my scrap paper and make sure this is straightish. Okay, very good. So the label is not straight if you look at it, but the stamp is straight on my block. So that's why when I stamp this, that's what I'm going to be looking for, is to make sure that I'm lining up the block with the label, if that makes sense. See if we can do it here the first time around. And I'm just going to hold that for a second or two just to make sure I get a nice impression. So with the lighter inks, I don't know, and that is not too bad. I'm going to take it. I don't know if you find this or not with the lighter inks, but what I find is that the impressions aren't nearly as good the first time around stamping as they are with darker inks. Like, I have much better success with darker inks. And I'm not sure why that is. Could just be me. Who knows? While I'm thinking of it, I'm going to go ahead and cut a banner end on the left side of my sentiment label. And the way you do that, I'm just going to use my snips, but I'm going to go right down the center of this label, and I'm eyeballing it as best I can. And I'm just going to go down maybe 1/8 of an inch or so. That's a little bit more actually than 1/8. And then I'm going to come in from the corner and snip over to that cut line up the center. And if it's not exactly right, you can, you know, kind of finagle it there. And I'm not getting it here at all. I'm not meeting up with my little mark. And then I'm going to flip it over just to get the other side. Whoops, that would be wrong. And go from the corner to the center and meet up with that line. And I've got a bit of a jagged edge there. See if I could clean that up a little bit. That's because I ripped that center piece out. And I probably shouldn't have done that. Okay. Well, I'm not getting that little tag there. There we go, that's better. All right. And I'll just set that aside. I am going to use, for my oval insert here, I'm going to use some Stampin' Blends to color the image. I'm going to use my light Sweet Sorbet, my light Mossy Meadow. I may use the dark Balmy Blue and Petal Pink. And we will try to make quick work of all this coloring here. And there's no rhyme or reason really on how I colored this other than making the leaves green. These stamped images are quite small to color, most definitely. And then our larger flowers here I did in the Sweet Sorbet. But yeah, these are a little bit fussy to color in. One of our dogs today is not. She's feeling a little under the weather. I'm not quite sure what is going on. She had an upset stomach, so it's pretty common for these for Westies to get upset bellies, unfortunately, and sometimes we just never know why. So she got a half a Pepsi tablet, and hopefully she'll be feeling better by dinner tonight. She did not want to eat her lunch today. Of course, when you're feeling, I know, Mary, I feel so bad for them when they don't feel good. But hopefully she'll perk up by tonight. Usually the Pepsi works pretty quickly. But she got sick right before, I fed them, so hasn't really had enough time to help yet, I think, the Pepsi. But hopefully she'll be feeling better soon. She's also been working on an ear infection, so we had to start drops. And that's all part of the allergies that they have that are just kind of ongoing. The vet loves us. We spend lots of money at the vet on medications and whatnot. Yeah, when your fur babies don't feel good, it's always a worry. And when you have two, oh my gosh, it's like one feels good and the other one doesn't. I don't know. But this breed in particular just seems to have a lot more issues than most, and it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Most of the time they're happy and healthy, so that's all that counts. So while I'm coloring, we'll see if I can do two things at once here, but while I'm coloring here, right now during Celebration, Stampin' Up! Is having a wonderful, wonderful joining special, and that runs, well, it started with Celebration on January 5th, and it runs through February 28th, and there are three options to join. Normally, the starter kit to join as a demonstrator is $99, and you get to pick $125, I think that's right, worth of products. But during Celebration, there are three joining options. For $129 with option 1, you get to pick $175 in products, plus you get the Boho Stampin' Cut and Emboss Mini, and which is super cute, and I'll share it with you here in a bit, for $129. So $175 in product, plus the Boho Mini machine for $129. Super great deal. Option number 2, you can get the white mini machine and $175 in products for $129. Same as option 1, just the white mini instead of the boho blue. And then option number 3, if you don't want the mini, you can just pay the $99 and still get $175 in products. And starter kits ship for free. So whether you're maybe thinking about joining Stampin' Up! As a demonstrator, either as a hobby demonstrator or perhaps you want to start a business, now I'll tell you, I've never seen such a good deal. And granted, I've only been at this for a year with Stampin' Up! I've never seen such a good deal, but other demonstrators are saying the same thing, that this is quite the bargain if you're looking to join. So I would love to have you join my team if you're interested. If, naturally you may have questions, feel free to reach out to me at my business email address, inkybstampers@gmail.com. I'd be happy to answer any of your questions, because, you want to think about it and you want to be informed. So, definitely would be happy to speak with you. But would love to have you join my team. So, but if you're thinking about it, this special goes till, like I said, it goes to February 28th while celebration's going on. So definitely something to think about. And not to mention that new demonstrators, right? Well, demonstrators, you get, excuse me, let me grab my little scrap here that I put inside my envelopes. But, as a demonstrator, you get, a discount, 20% discount, at least on Stampin' Up! Products. You get early access to products and catalogs, which is always a lot of fun. So yeah, there definitely are some great benefits to joining. And the particular, hey Mom, thanks so much for thanks so much for joining. And the particular team that I belong to, the Inky crew and the Critters, absolute wonderful, wonderful people. Very welcoming group. We have a lot of fun. Very supportive group. Just amazing folks to be associated with. So, some more good reasons to join if you're thinking about it. And I'm getting there, guys. Fussy little images. Almost done. And I think that's a flower petal there too. And let me get the green colored in, and then we're all done with coloring. So we are, our weather has kind of gotten, it's not super warm, but we did kind of recover from that cold snap that we had around Christmas time, which is good. Probably in the 40s, so not too bad. The sun was actually out today, although it's gone in since. But yeah, I'm ready. Once Christmas is over, I'm pretty much ready for spring. I think everybody is. Except maybe if you live somewhere really hot. Mary, you may not be ready for spring. I know it can get get warm where you are. Okay, almost done here. Kind of like watching paint dry, isn't it? But I really like this. I really like the images in this stamp set. They're just very delicate looking to me, and it's kind of what attracted me to this set. All right, I think we're gonna call it good there. Get rid of these markers here. Get them out of my way. All right, so we have our envelope partially done, and our inside panel is stamped, and we can go ahead and work on getting our card assembled here. Glue. So the two large DSP panels and the inside panel all measure 5 3/8 by 3 1/8. So it makes it super simple to you ready to start complaining about it being too hot instead of being too cold. I hear you, Mary. I'm totally with you. I know, I hate autocorrect too. So we'll go ahead and get this panel put on the front of the card, and then we can start working. And I do want to make sure that I leave an equal distance as best I can. And this is what's so great about liquid glue. Gives you that bit of wiggle room, which I seem to always need. And then we are going to put the second panel on the inside of our card. And you don't usually see DSP, a whole panel of DSP, on the inside of a card, unless maybe it's, you know, behind your panel to write on. But I just thought it was so pretty, and it doesn't add a lot of weight to the card. So it's just kind of a nice extra touch. And since we colored our inside panel, I'm going to go ahead and put that on as well. So I'm not really sure if this card would be considered. Now when you put your inside panel on, you need to, you know, make sure you're hanging kind of to the left here, because we do have a small strip here to put down the side that's going to show on the outside of the card. So you just need to be aware when you're placing your inside panel. And I should mention, this paper is the Country Floral Lane 12 by 12 Designer Series paper. And I'll share with you here in just a second. Let me get this. And I want to close my card and kind of make sure those DSP panels are lined up. And that looks like they're pretty good. Okay, very good. Shh, 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 shh. All right. Shh. There's a car outside. The girls don't recognize. So sorry, guys. Oh my goodness. So sorry. They see a car outside they don't recognize. Shush. Daisy. Shh. No. No. One barks and then the other barks. There's a strange vehicle outside. I'm so sorry. Yeah, this is beautiful paper. I'm going to have to talk over the dogs. Oh, I bet Buffy is like, oh my goodness, where are these dogs coming from? So I'm going to go ahead, Maisie. I'm going to go ahead and glue up our oval frame. And I'm going to put that towards the top of the card. My apologies, guys. Shh. That's enough. All right. And I just used glue to put down that frame. And I'm going to use glue to glue down our panel here. The insert to the oval. So I am not using Stampin' Dimensionals on this. Someone is picking something up from a neighbor's house. And boy, they sure recognize, you know, when vehicles don't belong on the street, they know. For sure. And they let us know, which is a good thing, I guess. I'm going to go ahead and just flatten my card out here. I did go ahead and I pre-cut some pieces, and we have little tiny flowers here. But the reason that I chose the Country Floral Lane paper to go with the Dainty Delight set is that if you look at the tiny little flowers on the Country Floral Lane paper, they very much to me look like these small flowers. So I just thought it kind of went well together. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and arrange some of these small flowers. I'm just trying to get them out of my little dish here. And then I've got some small leaves. And as I mentioned, I use this, not that die. Where's the little, I used this die to cut out, and it cuts 4 flowers out at one time. And then I used the 2 small leaves. So I ran these through my my Stampin' Cut and Emboss, and I used the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss to cut these out, and it did a great job. And it was large enough to actually cut the oval out as well. So that mini machine is definitely coming in handy. So is Buffy looking to see where the dogs are, Faith? That's funny. I know when our dogs hear another animal on a video or something, they get really excited. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to kind of dry fit my flowers around the frame here. And these red flowers I'm going to actually pop up with dimensionals. So I will put those on last. But I do want to make sure, that I get these kind of in the spot I want them before I glue them down. But I chose to use all, the Petal Pink, Balmy Blue, and Sweet Sorbet for these flowers. When I was making this card, I'll be very honest, when I was making this card yesterday, initially I just had like Petal Pink and the Sweet Sorbet flowers, and it just seemed to me like something, it just didn't look right to me. So I kept fiddling with it, and I brought the Balmy Blue in, and that kind of the light bulb went on, and that's what I ended up with, because it I don't know, just the 2 colors, the Petal Pink and the Sweet Sorbet, just didn't seem like it was enough color. So I'm just dotting a little bit of glue down in the center of my flowers, and I'm adhering them to the upper right and lower left of the frame. Oh, thanks, Mom. Yeah, you didn't get to see this card, did you? My mom is frequently over. She comes over and has dinner with us, and she always likes to look at the cards I've made. But she wasn't here last night, so she didn't get to see my card. All right. And I'm afraid that I'm going to overlap that flower there. I'm afraid I'm going to run a little bit over here, but I'll try to make it as quick as possible. All right, so I want to adhere some Stampin' Dimensionals to 2 of my larger Sweet Sorbet flowers here. And I'm most likely going to have to cut these. Actually, that one will probably fit. That one fits. But I think I'll have to cut this one. Oh, did my dogs get Buffy barking? Sorry about that, Faith. Actually, I'm going to put the smaller one up there. And that's just to give it a little bit of dimension. And we'll put our larger flower down here. There we go. And then I've got some very tiny leaves here that I'm just going to tuck in underneath our flowers. So tonight I will be having a craft and chat, 7 p.m. Eastern. Registration for that craft and chat has closed, but I plan on having these on a monthly basis, the second Wednesday of every month, 7 p.m. Eastern, and you can get the details on my blog. I also will be putting the the information out in my newsletter as well. And just, if you'd like to join me, just to have some crafting time, I would love to have you. All you need to do is email me and let me know you're interested, and I'll get you signed up. But basically, it's just some time to just have to craft and chit chat and kind of get to meet new friends. So I would love to have you join me if you're free in February. But I will be doing these each month, so no worries if you can't join. Yeah, Mary, I'm looking forward to tonight. It should be fun. All right, let me see here. Where am I? I am going to tie a little double bow. And I mentioned when I was making this card yesterday, it just seemed to me like something was missing. And I got to tell you that once I got all the bling on the card, I really liked the card. I wasn't too certain about the card, but once I added the balmy blue flowers, and hopefully this is long enough for me to make my double bow. Once I got the balmy blue flowers added and put my bling on, I was then happy with my card. So I just wasn't loving it. I don't know if you've ever had that, where you're making a card and it just doesn't seem like something's right, but you're not sure how to fix it. That's kind of where I was yesterday. I was having a heck of a time with this card, but I do like how it turned out. All right, let me just trim the ends here of my bow, and I am going to adhere that with a Stampin' dimensional. And I'm going to put my bow here on the upper left of the oval frame. Oop. There we go. Okay. And then we are going to add a dragonfly trinket. These trinkets are so much fun. You never get the package open, but they're so pretty, and they really add a lot to the cards, I think. And they're relatively flat. I'm going to grab another mini glue dot here. And my apologies, guys, for going over. I try not to do that. Oh, thank you, Faith. Yeah. Sometimes you just are working on a card and you're just not loving it, and that's where I was yesterday. But it turned out that I really like it. So I kind of rolled that glue dot up on the back of the dragonfly, and I'm going to just have him kind of hovering here over our flowers up here in the corner. And we're going to add some rhinestones to our flower centers, the ones that I can reach at least, because some of those flowers are tucked, so I may not be able to get all of them, but the ones I can reach, I'm going to put a rhinestone in the center. I think we can probably, let me see if I can tuck one under there. Yep. Okay. And I'm using the small rhinestones. And there are larger ones. You could use those if you'd like. I've got some mini glue dot on my tweezers. And we are almost done here. Okay. So that is our card. Let me get the coordinating DSP adhered to our envelope flat. Denny, aloha. Oh, thank you so much. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. So Denny, there's someone watching right now, my upline Mary. And Mary just loves Hawaii. And Mary, Denny lives in Hawaii. Very beautiful. She's always posting gorgeous, gorgeous pictures. All right. Okay, so we are almost done. I'm just going to trim off the excess here around our envelope flap. And we are good to go. So, you know, quick and easy card, easy dimensions. And I think the card is fun just in that you have a little bit kind of peeking out from the inside of the card, and the inside is decorated. I kind of like that. I'm not quite sure this would qualify as a fun fold. But anyway, that is our finished card. And then we have the inside decorated as well. So it makes quite a pretty card. This would be a great birthday card. Would also, you know, this is a thank you card, obviously, but it might even make a pretty sympathy card. But I love the soft romantic colors. Anyway, that is it for today. I want to thank you again for joining. You're a little jelly, Denny. Mary's a little jelly, Denny. Yeah, Hawaii is definitely a special, special, gorgeous place. But anyway, I want to thank you for joining me today. I hope you'll join me again next week, Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern, for another card demo. And wishing you all a wonderful day. Take care. Bye-bye.